The Pokopia Celebration Event is right around the corner in Pokemon GO. This event only comes about because of the new Pokemon Pokopia game newly released on the Nintendo Switch. Ditto has got 2 new costume variations, we've got 2 shiny boosts to certain Pokemon, we're gonna cover all the details including 1 or 2 bonuses that are happening around this event. This is the Pokopia Celebration with Go With Us. As always, time and dates. Guys, the Pokopia Celebration event will be taking place this Tuesday, the 10th of March at 10 a.m., running all the way until Monday the 16th at 8 p.m. local time, which bring about our new costume Pokemon GO debuts. Ditto wearing a cap as well as Ditto wearing the hat from the main 2 characters of the Pokopia games. Speaking of Ditto, what is the change up happening during this event? First and foremost, as we know, Ditto disguises itself as other Pokemon. Recently, it actually just changed to something like Growlithe, Mankey, Cubone. We also know that Gloom was a potential disguise, but it looks like they're changing them again for this event. When you do catch a disguised Pokemon that is actually a Ditto, you're gonna get a purple screen that says "Oh," and immediately that's when you know that this is actually a Ditto encounter, and they will of course be the costume Ditto. Bear in mind that this costume Ditto can also be shiny. The other great thing about these Ditto encounters is that they will potentially be shiny, as we've just said, but they can potentially come with the new Pokopia special background as well. And to be honest, if you did get a shiny Ditto with the costume, with the Pokopia background, I'm not sure when we might see this event or these backgrounds come again. You may be one of the only people in the world to have it. We've mentioned the wild a few times. What Pokemon are going to be spawning in the wild? It looks like we can see Bulbasaur, Charmander, Squirtle, Pikachu, Sudowoodo with the shiny boost, including Zorua with the shiny boost as well. If you guys weren't aware, Zorua is also a disguised Pokemon, but how it works is that it disguises itself as your buddy Pokemon. So let's just say you had a shiny Rayquaza as your buddy. That specific Pokemon will actually pop up on your map, and a lot of people get affrighted for it because they go, oh my gosh, there's a wild Rayquaza, but it's not. It's actually a disguised Zorua that is just copying your buddy. So that is what's going to be happening, and it looks like the shiny rate for this Pokemon is between like 1 in 64 and 1 in 128. I actually think I do have a shiny myself in my bag, but this is going to be your best way to try and go after this. I would strongly recommend now throwing on a gotcha during this event. If you don't have an auto catcher or a gotcha, this is a time to maybe get one, because getting a shiny Ditto, I believe I actually did this myself, and I think I caught like 3 years ago. I think I caught like 3 shiny Dittos in 1 hour, because there was a certain spotlight hour where all those Pokemon were disguised as Ditto, so I just got very lucky. But with that auto catcher during this event, you're really going to increase your shiny odds, especially with that new shiny costume Ditto. But what are these bonuses going down during this event? Guys, it looks like there's going to be a total of 3. The first bonus is that it's going to be 2 times XP for spinning stops. It's also going to be 10 times XP for spinning a Pokestop for the very first time, including an increased chance to encounter shiny Sudowoodo as well as shiny Zorua. Let's just quickly talk about Pokestops and getting XP from spinning Pokestops, because it actually is a little bit more complicated than people think. Every single time you spin a standard Pokestop, you're going to get 100 XP. If you spin a new Pokestop, which is pretty much surrounded with a white halo ring, that is when you know you have not spun that Pokestop before, but if you spin that one, you're going to get 300 XP. So knowing that breakdown now, spinning a regular Pokestop is going to grant you 200 XP because of the 2 times XP for spinning a stop. But it's the 10 times XP for spinning a new stop that we really have to focus on, because these 2 can stack together. We know that it's 300 XP for a new Pokestop spin, but during this event, it's going to be 3,000 XP per spin on top of the fact of spinning that Pokestop anyway. So technically, without the use of a lucky egg, you're going to be getting 3,200 XP per new Pokestop spin. So that means with a lucky egg running, you're going to be getting 6,400 XP per new Pokestop spin, which is absolutely incredible. However, the only way you can really take advantage of this is if you go to a new area or a new downtown or a new city where you have not been before, throw in a lucky egg, either get your mom or someone else to drive you around. That's going to be the quickest way to do it, and spin these Pokestops, guys, in a 30-minute time frame. It could be astronomical the amount you could actually get. What raids will be going down though? It looks like in 3-star raids we can see Lapras, Snorlax, and Dragonite. The great thing here as well is that all of these can be shiny, but they can potentially come with their special Pokopia background as well. So imagine you got a shiny or a Hundo Dragonite with a Pokopia background with the new Mega. I think this could look absolutely amazing, and again, it would be super rare. Field research tasks will be live, where we can definitely encounter event-themed Pokemon. I do think something like Pikachu, Bulbasaur, Squirtle will probably be in there as well, but we can also get more items and Stardust. A collection challenge will also be live to all trainers, where we're going to have to catch themed Pokemon in order to receive encounters with Pokopia themed Pokemon as well. A new new avatar item will be coming to the game, which is going to be the Ditto eye mask. I think this thing it's actually terrible in my opinion when you look at it at first, but I think this could be a very neat kind of avatar item that I think a lot of people could potentially fall in love with. And of course, those new stickers will be available by spinning Pokestops and gyms. Those are the main details out of the way, but how do I really maximize this event? What are some Pokemon I should be going after doing this event? We've got you covered, but let's start off with our main tip, which is going to be tip number 1, and I've just said it. Please run your auto catcher. Trust me, this is the type of event where if you want to get these shinies that in my opinion could be a lot easier to get if you just throw in your gacha while you're at work, or maybe you're just on a lunch break in the park or something like that. Trust me, auto catchers are going to be your best friend during this event. I'm going to keep that brief. Tip number 2 is how do I really maximize the candy during this event? Again, it looks like there are a certain amount of types that are going to be spawning, so it's hard to pick one mega Pokemon to really maximize our candy chances. But as we know, if you really want to maximize candy on a certain Pokemon, the use of a Pineapple Berry is going to double your candy chances. A Silver Pineapple Berry is going to give you one more candy on top of that. And if you did have a Mega Level 3 Pokemon evolve, so let's say we were going after Pikachu and we really wanted to get a lot of candy and XL candy for Pikachu, you would maybe have something like a Mega Ampharos at Mega Level 3. It's going to be giving you an extra 2 candy, an extra 25% chance at XL candy for that specific Pokemon, including using a Pineapple or Silver Pineapple Berry as well. We're talking about 8 or 9 candy per catch, which is incredibly powerful on top of that XL candy bonus. If there are certain Pokemon that you want, I would probably look in the direction of something like Primal Pokemon, like Primal Kyogre, which of course is going to get you extra candy for Electric, Bug, and Water type Pokemon. For Primal Groudon, that's going to be Grass, Fire, and Ground. And even for something like Mega Rayquaza, Psychic types, Dragon types, and Flying types are all going to be boosted for candy as well. Those Pokemon probably cover the most amount of ground. However, if you really wanted to gun going after something like a Bulbasaur, Mega Evolving a Mega Level 3 Venusaur is going to be the best thing for you to do. It depends on what your targets are. Tip number 3 is going to be about XP. Again, we just touched on those Pokestops and how to really maximize that, and we're pretty much just going to summarize that again. With a Lucky Egg running, and if you are in a new downtown area where there are a lot of Pokestops that you have not spun, throw in a Lucky Egg just in that 30-minute time frame. Again, with the Lucky Egg running, it's really going to stack. You're looking at over 6,000 XP per spin. If you manage to just spin 10 new Pokestops in that 30-minute time frame, just 10, we're talking about 65,000 XP just by spinning Pokestops. Very underrated. This is probably the one time I have seen spinning Pokestops for XP to be a viable method in terms of gathering XP. Tip number 4 has to do with Friday, and you're probably going to be like, why? Friday has just been introduced as Friendship Fridays, which means there are certain bonuses in relation to trading Pokemon that are very, very important. What trading Pokemon on Friday is going to do for you is that you can get 1 additional special trade per day to make a total of 2. You're going to get an increased chance to get lucky trades on that specific day. And today is Friday, so I'm going to be doing that a little bit later. I just realized that right now. Trades are going to cost 10% less Stardust, but here's the big one. You're going to get guaranteed 2 XL candy per trade. But bear in mind, the new season has just dropped, but already one of the seasonal bonuses there is that we get 1 additional special candy per trade anyway. So you're actually on Fridays going to get 3 XL candy per trade. Now, there are a lot of Pokemon very recently that have been coming from the Kalos tour, even from Kyurem Raid Day not so long ago, where you need to trade these Pokemon to try and get XL candy, because as we know, XL candy is one of the most difficult commodities to get in the game, and especially for the best Pokemon, you need the max amount of XL candy to max them to make them their most powerful. Please make use of Trade Fridays. It's very, very important. Just to add something to those trades very quickly, you can tick off certain platinum medals. For example, the Gentleman medal requires you to complete 2,500 trades, which is a very good thing to do, especially on these Fridays. And the other medal you could potentially focus on, especially on Pokemon that you've caught far away via remote trading, for example, is going to be the Pilot medal, which requires you to cover 10 million kilometers across trades. So for example, if you're going to be remote raiding something like a Zacian, which is going to be coming into raids on the 11th, raid a couple of those around the world, doing 2 special trades on that day as well, it will chip away at that medal. The other platinum medal that you could focus on during this event is going to be the Pikachu fan medal, which requires you to catch 2,500 Pikachus. As we know, Pikachu will be spawning in the wild, and if you do receive one from a trade as well, that also is going to count. Those are some tips for you to focus on, but what are some main targets we need to be going after? First and foremost, we cannot look past the starters again. Bulbasaur going into Venusaur, and eventually Mega Venusaur. Mega Venusaur right now is the 3rd best grass type attacker in the game with Frenzy Plant. This has been a staple in the game for so long, a really good Pokemon to go after. Squirtle going into Blastoise, funny enough, in the Great League and Ultra League right now, brilliant Pokemon. Both are hovering around the 30th and 35th spot in both those leagues respectively. Blastoise, a very underrated Pokemon in the Gold Battle League right now, and even as a water type attacker, it is still the 4th best water type attacker in the entire game. And then we have to move into Charmander, of course, going into Charizard. Charizard going to Mega Charizard right now. Mega Charizard is the 2nd best fire type attacker in the game, just behind Mega Blaziken, but of course that's Mega Charizard Y. Mega Charizard X does take on a dragon typing. Unfortunately, with the dragon moveset it has, it isn't going to stack up against some of the other dragon types in that category, but still, all of these you want to try and get hundos for. We then need to focus on Pikachu, which of course can go into Raichu, but as we know, and if you didn't know, Mega Raichu X and Y will be coming to Pokemon Go at some stage, and it has been rumored that Mega Raichu Y stats will make this Pokemon one of the best, if not the best, pure electric type attacker in the entire game. So if you don't have a hunter for Pikachu, please try go after it during this event. If we just have a look at the raid target Pokemon very quickly, as you can see in 3-star raids, Lapras will be in there. That can be shiny, that can potentially come with a special background. In the Great League right now, it's currently hovering around the 16th spot. Its Shadow is currently in the 33rd spot, but in the Ultra League, it shines even better in the 3rd spot, and its Shadow is in the 6th spot. However, the stats coming from raids, the base floor is going to be 10 10 10, so you're going to want to trade with a friend to try and get the right IV stats to use Lapras as its best potential in the Gold Battle League. Dragonite is another big target here, again with that shiny and potential special background, on top of the fact that in the Master League right now, Dragonite in its shadow form is currently ranked 54, and its regular with XL Candy of course is ranked 63. Very underrated Pokemon in the Master League, but even as a dragon type attacker right now, it's currently breaking just inside the top 10 with Dragon Tail and Draco Meteor. So it's a great opportunity, if you didn't get it during the Kalos Tour, to try and get the hundo for this Pokemon. But the other raid Pokemon that's going to be featuring in 5-star raids, which isn't necessarily connected to this event, but it will be in raids, will be Zacian in its Hero of Many Battles form. The Crown Sword Zacian is probably the best Pokemon in the game right now. Remember though, in order to get the crowned versions of either Zacian or Zamazenta into their crown forms, you need to have 1000 energy, including knowing the charge move Iron Head. That is going to be the only way that you can make this fusion happen if you do have the energy. It's important to mention that these raids will not have the fusion energy, but it's a great opportunity to try and get the candy and XL candy for this Pokemon, but ultimately to try and get the hundo if you don't have it already, because whatever Zacian you catch here, if it is a hundo, you will be able to transfer that once you do have the energy, or if you already do have the energy, you will be able to make the transformation then to get yourself a hundo Crown Sword forms of both. I actually do have both. I got extremely lucky on GoFest. None of them came with a special background that day, but I've kind of done this already, and I'm just going to leave the examples on screen right now. Even Zacian in its Hero of Many Battles forms is still the 15th best fairy type attacker in the game, but of course once it does make that fusion, it is literally the best Pokemon in the game. It's number 1 in the Master League. I think it's the 2nd best fairy type attacker in the game, and of course it does come with its own adventure effect, which is pretty much going to increase your damage in raids by about 5 to 10%. So guys, a great opportunity to target that Pokemon now, but again, to get the candy and XL candy, make sure to Mega Evolve a fairy type in the background so you can maximize those candy potentials for that specific raid. An honorable mention for something like Mega Steelix, that's going to be in Mega Raids as well from the 11th to the 17th. However, Mega Steelix is not a great raid attacking Pokemon at all, but it's a great Pokemon to get to Mega Level 3 because it does share that ground and steel typing. So whenever those events come around, especially something like steel types, which aren't that readily available, to have that at Mega Level 3 to get the candy and XL candy to the absolute max potential is a great thing to have in the background. If you guys want to see everything going on this week in Pokemon Go, but more importantly, if you guys want to see this weekend, just before this event starts, what's going to be going down and how to spawn legendaries from Incense, we'll leave both those videos as end screens. You need to actually check out both of those anniversary videos because they are going to help you, and let's hold thumbs. Let's hope this weekend is an absolute banger and all of us are spawning legendaries all over the place. Love you guys. Go with us. Please smash that like, subscribe, and more importantly, that hype button. You guys have been hyping these videos and they have been traveling, and we can only grow with your support. Please, we want to literally take this to the top, and we can only do it with you guys. Love you. Go with us, and we'll catch you in the next one, baby. Shh.